All right. This is the detention docket for the 323rd on Monday, March 15th, 2021. We're conducting these proceedings remotely via Zoom. However, in order to give the public meaningful access to the courts, we are also broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube for the public to observe. This is still a court proceeding. The court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court. That means please be dressed appropriately and behave appropriately. Do not have bright lights behind your heads that tends to shadow out your face. Please do not have moving backgrounds or moving objects in the background. That includes things like ceiling fans or being in a moving vehicle. Please restrain or remove any distracting background noises like domesticated animals or children. If you are an officer of the court, we do understand, and so you may turn off your camera as you did. However, you're participating, your camera must be on. I'm going to go ahead and ask, and otherwise everyone's camera needs to be on. So Lena, your camera does have to be on. Go through this list. Keisha, your camera has to be on. Cynthia Gonzalez, your camera has to be on. Go ahead and enable the waiting room. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start with Corey Bibbs. Mr. Bibbs?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Newman, I think is your appointed attorney. I don't think I've seen him yet. I'm gonna ask Mr. Berger to go ahead and step in. So
I'm here, Judge.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Berger. All right,
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Bibbs, you were here for evading arrest in 2019. Then February of this year, Grand Prairie brought you in. There was a stolen car. There was a car chase, spun out, a wreck. Driver and passenger fled. And when they caught up with you, you were found in possession of marijuana. And now we have a new offense for burglary of a building. We're at the elementary school. Somebody broke into the roof and master keys are stolen, so they have to rekey everything. Damage to a cello and a viola. $10,000 in damages. So, all right, and you're positive for marijuana, and then, oh, you're level 3. Well, Corey, you know, if you're level 3, I'm not letting you out. So we'll see you in 10 days. Hopefully you get your behavior better by then. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Roger Chambers.
Yeah.
How about yes, sir? Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Chambers, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you see a judge within 2 days. And I have to decide whether to keep you here, release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Gladstone as your attorney. Did I see Richard here earlier? Not yet. Mr. Berger, I'm going to ask you to step in for Mr. Gladstone.
Judge,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Gladstone.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Chambers, you're 16 years old. Fort Worth PD brought you in. Let's see, they are saying yesterday, police responded to a prowler call. 3 juveniles were pulling on the door of some vehicles. And then when the police got there, 3 juveniles were attempting to hide. Police approached, they ran off into a neighborhood. When the police told them to stop running, they were detained. And when they searched you, you found several pills that looked like Xanax. So you were detained and brought here while being searched at the detention center that you had a handgun on your person. So you are now charged with felony possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution. So I don't know if you understand this or not, but whenever, do we have a parent here by chance?
Yes, Your Honor. We
Okay.
have parents.
They're in the room. All right, so mom and dad are here. All right, so Mr. Chambers, you may not know this about me, but my philosophy is that whenever a child's caught with a gun, I always detain them so I can make sure that they're safe to release to the community. I'm not sure what kind of, Mr. Let's see, let me look at this. Mr. Lahara, what kind of gun was it?
We don't have that information, Your Honor. We're waiting for the supplement from the police department.
Well, hold on, our detention facility is the one that found the gun, right?
That's correct.
So we don't have notes from our facility on what kind of gun was? I mean, there should have been some kind of report because a gun actually entered our facility.
Let me. Oh. Let me check, Your Honor.
Mr. Chambers, you should probably lower your hand. I'm sure your attorney does not want you to say anything right now.
Hey, Judge, it's Daniel. I'm in the parents' room, but I did check about 5 minutes beforehand. We haven't got an incident report from detention, and all Fort Worth PD indicated was a handgun. It didn't say what type.
Okay. So I guess mom and dad, you're here. My question for you is, where's your son getting a gun from?
We don't know that.
Okay. So that's a big problem for me. You know, if it's one thing, if it's a parent's gun that the kid took, but if there's a gun out there on the streets that the kids are getting, then if I let him go, I fully believe that he would have access to another firearm, right? So this is part of why I do what I do. I just want to make sure that it's safe for both your son and the community to release your son. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and detain him. Okay?
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Sarah Cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Cross, I am Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Currently, you are on probation for felony theft of a firearm. And so now, yesterday, you were brought in by Keller Police because I issued a warrant for you in January. We had an out of custody detention hearing and you decided not to show up. So, let's see. Mom said she reportedly allowed you to drive her car to take a friend home. You were pulled over on a traffic stop and they noticed a warrant for you. And you do not have a driver's license. You haven't reported to probation officer since you didn't report to court in January. Mom says you've been in and out of the house. You come to your laundry and leave. So you're on probation for assault of a public servant and theft of a firearm. You have not completed your community service hours. You were kicked out of Casada Learning Center. Who wrote this? Ms. Hunt.
Your Honor, I'm here for Diane Hunt.
Oh, well, tell Diane Hunt that she has done great on this report.
I will.
This is fantastic. This is telling me everything that she's done right and everything she's done wrong while she's on probation. All right, so is Mom here?
I'm not sure if she's here or not. She was supposed to be here. I don't see her.
Okay, don't have a parent here. Sarah, I'm gonna let you know now. While you're on probation, you gotta show up. That's part of probation. So I'm gonna go, I issued a warrant for you because you didn't show up for court. And so I'm gonna go ahead and detain you because if I let you go, I'm sure you're just not gonna show up for court again. I'm not sure your mom can offer you adequate supervision since you were in and out. And your mom's not helping us get you back in before the court. Also, I'm gonna let you know now that you're 17 years old, you do not have to stay here at juvenile detention. I can't keep you in the downtown jail with your adult women. So if you do not have a level 1 outstanding behavior level, I'm just gonna move you downtown while your case is pending, all right? So it is up to you to be a good example for the other girls back there to show them what it takes to make good decisions and keep your behavior level 1 outstanding. All right, thank you, Sarah. All right, next we have Alan Gardner.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Abels. All right, Mr. Gardner, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you'll see a judge within 2 days, and I'll decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Tillman is your appointed attorney. we have a parent here for Mr. Gardner? Oh, there we go. All right, so let's see. Alan, on Friday, you were brought in by Bedford PD. You had a theft case from Hearst from back in September of 2020. So Bedford said on Friday about 5:40, they were dispatched to an assault call. Police got there to talk to the stepmom, said when she was getting home, she saw you watching her from the bedroom window as she was walking up. She saw you run towards her, shoved her into the handrail, struck the top right of her forehead with a closed fist. And then for the theft call, police were dispatched, spoke with 14-year-old victim. They said Alan went to fight him and waited for him after school. When Alan approached him, slapped him in the face, he dropped his backpack and took off running. Then he saw Alan pick up the backpack, put it on his shoulder. School computer was in the backpack, valued at $400. Police spoke with Alan. He admitted to slapping him, taking his backpack, but wouldn't say what the computer was. Kept on trying to talk to the family, and they refused to show up. And we brought you in. Now you're positive for marijuana. So, Mom, are you Mom?
Yes.
Okay, I can see the welt on your head from here. Like, what? Do you know what prompted this?
No, he's just got real bad anger issues. That's
Okay. Do you know what happened to that computer?
I never seen a computer.
Okay, what I suggest is you start selling Alan's stuff to come up with the $400 so that restitution is going to be necessary. Does he have like a PlayStation or something?
No.
He doesn't have a gaming console?
No.
He doesn't have phone?
Yeah, he had the phone.
Yeah, you may want to sell that phone because I'm really not inclined to release Alan until there's restitution up front to pay back the school for the computer that Alan took, allegedly. If he took it. If he didn't, then you can wait for a trial and then you'll be adjudicated not having taken it. But right now, if he's just doing this to you, there's no safe place to release him. I'm not comfortable releasing him to you. I want to at least hold him for a while and decide what his behavior is like here, if he can behave and follow the rules, or if he's going to have that horrible attitude here. All right?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Rashonda Henderson.
You didn't get a chance to meet with.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Ms. Hopkins. We have a parent for Henderson coming in.
Your Honor, she's not here this morning. She did text and say that she was ill this morning.
Damn. All right, Rashonda, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Ms. Hopkins, is here. So back in February, Fort Peter brought you in for your stolen car on Riverside. And they turned on the lights. Female exited driver's side and fled northbound through the houses. They lost sight of you, but then found you over at Riverside and Roberts. And they identified the owner. And so you're arrested for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. And this is while you were actually on probation for unauthorized use. So that tells me that you took a car, you got probation, admitted that you took a car, got probation for taking a car, and then now you're caught taking it. So you learned absolutely nothing. And you're also positive for marijuana while your case is pending. And so I just have no desire to release you yet. You've been here for one 10-day hearing. Let's see how you behave. I just think that if I let you go right now, you'll just go and take another car. You have yet to prove me otherwise. Thank you, Rashonda. Ethan Hernandez.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Hopkins. All right, Ethan,
Have
I'm
a great
Judge
day.
Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Masek as your attorney. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Hernandez, you're 16 years old. You've been here for 46 days. This is the burglary at Owings Auto. Remember that. So it was November of last year. Brought you here. We let you go to your grandmother. Then a couple months later, Arlington brought you in January. There was shootings in the area, gang related. Found you and a friend. Both had a 9mm handgun with one round in each magazine. So you're both arrested for unlawfully carrying a weapon. And then while you're here, Arlington police sent in a report that a witness picked you up out of a lineup for pointing a gun at him and firing 3 shots. And then the firearm that you were caught with back in January ballistically matched up to the shell casings that were at that shooting. And so you're now looking at aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And then there's another shooting where the gun that your friend had was linked to you. Yeah. So you're on probation for what is it? Well, got on probation. Ms. Aguirre, is he on supervision?
Yes, Your Honor, back in March of 2020.
Okay, so March in 2020, you got a supervisory caution, basically saying just don't break the law and go to school and we'll dismiss this case. And you managed to smoke weed while you're in there and get caught with a couple gun offenses and burglary. So Ethan, I'm pretty sure if I let you go, you would find another gun. I'm just worried about the safety of the community and safety of you if I was to let you go. So I'm going to continue to detain you. Thank you, Ethan.
Your Honor, we have a hearing coming up on Thursday too, so.
Okay, good. Hopefully it gets adjudicated or disposed of at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Kendrick Giles.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Mulder. All right, Mr. Giles, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here, release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So.
Judge, he's level 2.
He's level 2. All right. Thank you for letting me know. All right, Kendrick, you know how it works. If you're not level 1, I'm not going to let you go because I feel like if I let a kid go, I have to be confident that at home they're going to be level 1 outstanding. So at this point, we'll revisit this in 10 days and decide where to go. When's the next court date for Mr. Giles? He's been here for a little while.
We've got a pretrial April.
Okay, good.
April 23rd.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mulder.
And Judge, could I just ask the probation department to please correct the report? I've pointed this out almost every time. It was not a pistol involved on the aggravated assault public servant.
So I remember this one.
I know you do.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm just trying to get the paperwork correct. That's all I want. Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Giles. Thank you, Mr. Mulder. All right. Tegan Meza. Mr. Meza, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding. First of all, do you want to sit up?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. When your kid's brought to our facility, you see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adler has been appointed as your attorney. All right, so Tegan, you've never been here before. See, on Saturday, police were dispatched to domestic. They met with your dad and brother restraining you. They said that you've been grounded for running away and they had taken all your electronics. They found a laptop in your room and you had been on social media, so they took that away. They said you got upset, started throwing things around. Dad went to room and swatted Tegan with a necklace or belt. So you calmed down, but soon began throwing things again, got out of the room, approached mom, brother tackled you, and dad restrained you. Hit dad in the back about 8 times. Mediation is scheduled. All right, so I guess your dad?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so does his attitude always suck?
Recently, it's gotten much worse.
Okay. So, I mean, all right, Dad, so this is just kind of dad to dad talking. How much of this is just normal teenage angst and how much of this is just unreasonable?
All of it is unreasonable. I have other teenagers and we have not had any issues like this.
Okay, well, at this point, what I'm going to decide to do is I think he needs an attitude adjustment. Tegan, I'm going to go and detain you for now. We'll see what your behavior is like. Next time you come to court, show a little more respect, sit up, be a little more polite. People read your body language, and that makes a big difference. But right now, with that kind of attitude, it tells me if I let you go back home, you're not going to learn anything from the situation. There's going to be zero rehabilitation, and you're going to bring the same thing back home. That evidently your family deserves better than what you're providing. So Tegan, either shape up and get your act together, or you can stay here for a little bit longer. All right, thank you, Tegan.
Hey, Your Honor, I have a question on Mr. Tegan. If mediation is successful on the 18th, do you want another detention hearing after that, or do you want a detention hearing 10 days?
I'm going to trust Dad on this one. If Dad goes through mediation, they feel like the core issues are resolved and it's time for him to come home, then I will trust Dad. If it's one of those that's not resolved, then, you know, I mean, well, I think we'll have to have a detention hearing. But something like this, I really want to trust the parent.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa. Lanaya Murphy. All right, Ms. Murphy, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you see a judge within 2 days. I've decided whether to keep you, release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We appoint Mr. Shaw as your attorney. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so back in February, last month, you were adjudicated delinquent for evading arrest. We released you to Mom. The next day, Mom called and said they'd gone to Walmart. You had a phone, which Mom says she has no idea where it came from. You called for someone to pick you up. So camera footage showed that you got into a gray vehicle. They got a partial license plate. Mom said you took $10 from her car. So Mom filed a running report. The next day you showed up at the house and stepdad happened to be home. She was there to steal more money. When she realized he was there, she left. Last week, Mom called, said they found you. And let's see. But there was a 45-year-old woman keeping you hidden. All right, well, and you're positive for marijuana, so you just took probation. Yeah, Lena, I think if I let you go, you just run away again. Is Miss Marino involved in this one at all?
Your Honor, she's been noted as a high C at risk.
That's what I'm asking.
I did try to call her this morning. I will be getting in touch with her.
Okay, yeah, let's just go and do the screening and find out. I'm concerned as well. All right, well, I'll let you know, Lanaya, decisions have consequences. And remember, there's no situation so bad in life that you can't make it worse. So stop making it worse. Thank you. Jamirian Ransom. All right, Mr. Ransom, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Houston. Dwayne, are you here? I saw it. No? Mr. Berger, I'm going to ask you to step in for Mr. Houston. All right, so this is back December, Arlington PD to a Metro PCS for armed robbery.
Judge, I see Mr. Houston.
Yes, I'm right here. I was unmuting.
Oh, there we go. All right, good to see you, buddy. All right. So, all right, Mr. Berger, you're fired. All right, Metro PCS, 2 black males came in, forced victims in the back, and took all the iPhones out of the safe. The phones were tracked. Both suspects brandished handguns. They tracked the phones with GPS, and they found the suspects in a Cadillac Escalade. Found the stolen merchandise. Jamarian was found with a stolen .40 caliber handgun. He gave a fake name and date of birth. He used this as a runaway out of Dallas, who's also on probation out of Dallas, and he was with an adult. All right, well, Mr. Ransom, and you're level 2. Well, Mr. Ransom, you understand that whenever a child has a gun, my philosophy is that these children should be detained until I feel it's absolutely safe to release them back to the community. The fact that you're already on probation out of Dallas County makes it worse. And the fact that you're not level and outstanding makes it impossible for you to get me to say, I'm going to release you. Because I'm not going to release you. If you're not behaving here, you're not going to behave at home. So we'll see you in 10 days, Mr. Ransom. Titana Ray. All right, Ms. Ray, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's brought to a facility, you'll see a judge within 2 days. I'll decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Daniels, your attorney. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, so on Friday, you were brought here by Fort Worth PD because Judge Porter issued a warrant for you for leaving home without permission, being gone for days at a time, and skipping school. Mom contacted us, said you did not return home from school after going to attendance recovery classes. She didn't know where you were, so we called in a runaway report. And when you're at school, you walk through the halls being disruptive. Mr. Booth, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do we do?
When the progress report was sent in to Judge Porter, we just kind of wanted to put her on EM to kind of gain compliance. He issued the DTA.
Okay. Well, all right, Tatiana, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and detain you. If you get to level 1 outstanding, then we don't have a parent here, correct?
She's on zone.
Which one's the parent?
I'm here.
Okay. Keisha. All right. So, Mom, I'm gonna go and detain her from now. If she gets a level 1 outstanding, I'll be okay releasing her on the electronic monitor. Wait, Ms. DeBose, did we not give her a drug test?
They did, Your Honor, right before court. She was negative.
She was negative. Okay, why didn't we give her a drug test on Friday?
She came in yesterday, and she said she couldn't produce at that time.
So, Ms. Ray, I'm gonna let you know that if you decide to cut off the monitor because you're gonna go on the run, make sure you let that monitor where it can be found, because if it's not, I will detain you until we find that monitor. If it goes in the garbage and it's never found, then you're probably gonna stay in here for a long time. But don't cut off that monitor. Best thing you can do is keep that monitor on, even if you're stepping out, because that tells me where you were and it helps your situation. But at this point, get to level 1 outstanding, because if you're not getting out of here. Thank you, Ms. Ray. Kaylin Rushton.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Mr. Rushton, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you, release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to an attorney. You have a right to be silent. Mr. Pearson. David, are you here? I don't think so. All right, Mr. Berger, I'm going to ask you to step in.
Got it, Judge.
So, Kaylin, let's see. Back in 2019, there was a fight in the lunchroom. AP tried to break up the fight, and evidently you pushed him to the floor and caused him pain to his neck and back. And then I told you had the right to be silent. It's probably you want to use it. You don't have to, but you probably want to. So February 27th, you were referred by Fort Worth, where the police were dispatched. Victim's home. This said the young black male wearing black hoodie and sweatpants knocked on the door, said he was being robbed, and told him to go into his house and get some money. Victim closed the door, contacted the police, suspect fled. Second robbery call, Cricket Wireless, young black male wearing the same black hoodie and sweatpants, red shoes, walked in, pointed a stick at her, said you're being robbed. Police were called. Okay, so he's back on medication.
Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Art Brender. I was the victim of the first robbery he attempted, but I wanted to mention that he I believe, is the one that broke into our house a couple of days before that.
Whoa, hold on. So, Mr. Brender, you are the attorney on the case?
Pardon me? I'm the victim of the first robbery he attempted.
Okay. Mr. Brender, this detention hearing, you're not, I appreciate what you do, but these hearings, unless somebody calls you as a witness, I can't really hear from a victim.
Okay, that's fine.
Right? So, I understand as opposition because you're highly respected, but I just, I want to make sure that we all stay in our own lane. So.
Sure. Sure, Judge, that's fine.
Judge, I'm Mr. Brender's attorney. Is there anything I can do I'm Mr. Brender's attorney. If the court has any questions about this, I'm happy to answer as an attorney of record for Mr. Brender.
Okay.
Well, we'll shut up after that, but if y'all have any questions for me for Mr. Brender, I'm happy to answer those. If not,
okay. No, my big thing right now is, why am I mixed up on names? I show Mr. Pearson as Kaylin Rushton's attorney.
Yes, sir. I'm Art Brender's attorney. So I just saying,
Oh,
as a friend of the court, but so if there's any questions, I'm happy to speak to the court as an
okay.
attorney for Mr. Brender. But I'll shut up then. I've got the next.
No, that's right. I'm just trying to understand
Yes,
what's
sir.
going on. All right, so where I'm going right now is I'm trying to figure out, he's back on his medication. And so I guess my question, Mr. Lofton, or even Mr. Brender is, I mean, Mr. Brender, are you concerned about your safety right now?
I really am. The way he got me out the door to talk to him is that he said he could tell me who broke in. He could tell me who broke into his house. Well, he's the only one that could have done it. The person that got in there went through a window, got cut, and there's blood around there. And the police have taken those samples and everything, so they can test for DNA. But there's a lot of things that were taken, this personal things.
Mr. Brender, rather than get into the details, because I don't want to poison the tree.
Okay.
So I would just rather just leave it at that. My really focus is if the victim is concerned about its safety, if I was releasing the child, that is one of the issues the law allows me to consider about whether I release a child or not. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and continue to detain them.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have Dylan Slinkard.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What do you say? Wait, come back. Steve?
I got him, sir.
Yeah, what did you just say?
He said this judge is a hoe, and he said, fuck all y'all.
Okay, bring him back.
What? You detained me. There's nothing to talk about, bro. Go back and do my work. What do you want?
So one thing I need you to understand, Mr. Slinkard, is there's one person in this world that can decide whether you get in or out. And you decide to call him a hoe. So I guess I'm the hoe that decides that you're going to stay here, and you're going to stay here for a while. It's your choice. This is what you're deciding. Mr. Slinkard, what you have to understand, there's no situation in life that's so bad that you can't make it worse. You've dug yourself in a hole. You need to stop digging because you're just digging and you're making it worse. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take a little more closer look at your case.
I see all Mexicans and white people right here. Where the black people at, bro? Where's my attorney, man?
I ain't your bro. And second, I'm not Mexican or white.
Yes, you are. Are you Asian, Chinese?
Yes, I am.
Let me go back, bro. Just let me go back, bro. Just let me go back.
Hey, keep on. You're making it worse.
You're making yourself worse.
You're making, the funny thing is I'm not the one dressed out for detention hearings.
I ain't got nothing else to talk about, bro.
No, you don't have nothing to talk about. You have a lot to listen about.
Hey, I know this was going on, bro. All right, I don't want to talk no more. You say what you had to say.
See, so right now, you had I'm looking at your history. So you're arrested for aggravated sexual assault of a child, which was dismissed on 3 counts. Arrested for assault public servant. I think that's the principal.
They got charges from 2019. That ain't even different.
Your psychological evaluation is due April 9th. Your level 1 outstanding, so that means you've been taking, this is you on your meds. You've been taking your meds and you're still like this.
All day talking, I'm hungry, bro. It's my lunchtime.
So what we're gonna do, 15 years old. Ms. Mowdy, are you here?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this for trial before the court. Set it for probably 14 days. So you may want to start getting your witnesses lined up. But this is going to take priority over other things that we have. And so we'll just make a decision at that point. All right, so Mr. Rushton, I'm going to let you know that you're getting your wish. We're going to have a trial and decide whether or not you committed the aggravated robbery, the robbery, as well as the assault of a public servant, and 911 call. And so I will be the one deciding whether you get committed to TJJD, and if it's a determinate sentence, the worst case you could do up to 40 years in prison for, just to let you know. All right, so stop making your situation worse. All right, thank you, Mr. Killen. Dylan Slinkard.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, be advised, Miss Slinkard's mom is on Zoom. It's a Samantha Byers.
Okay. Oh, hello, Ms. Byers. All right, Dylan, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. So, can you ask for the Killen file? Let's see the jacket later today. All right, so Dylan, your loved one outstanding, good?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lofton's your attorney. So you're referred.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Watauga brought you in for evading arrest of the vehicle, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, and a warrant by Fort Worth PD for burglary of the vehicle. So, officer discovered a stolen vehicle, Nissan Versa, facing the skate park. It was parked, so short driving, car crash, and damaged the vehicle. Dylan tried to escape, but stopped, confronted by the officers. And he's on probation for evading arrest. History of runaway, positive for marijuana. And you've already been to placement. Look, Dylan, I would love to let you go, but just your history is so much that you haven't done enough to prove to me yet. All right, this is just going to take time. It's going to take more time you've already done. You're on the right path. I don't want to discourage you because I'm not releasing you today, but I need you to understand when you have a long history that goes back years, it takes more than 10 days to convince me, you know, that everything's good. All right, keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing the right thing, and it's not lost on me. I'm picking up the clues and seeing things. What I'm looking for is a pattern of behavior. Honestly, that's what your mom is looking for. She's not looking for the one or two things. She's looking for that pattern of behavior to show us that you've actually changed a little bit, okay? So don't get down because I'm detaining you. Actually hold your head high because you're actually proving to us over a period of time. Mom, am I right on this? You're on mute. Ms. Byers, you're still muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
I said, you are correct, Your Honor. I know that he is really trying and he wants to prove himself. So he just needs to stay on that track so he can show.
Right. You know. And that's what I'm saying, Dylan, is I know it may be discouraging because I know a lot of kids are like, get to level 1, I'll get out. I just need to understand you're on the right path. Just you got to finish the race.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to apologize, and I understand. I understand it's gonna take a while. I already knew that, but I would also like to prove that I can be trusted in society. Yes, sir.
I can't tell you. I would love to give you that chance. I mean that from my heart. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, and your mom would too. I mean, we're both here. You're not going to convince us right away. It's just going to take a little time.
Okay? Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jaqueline Spencer. Christy, are you Jaquelin's mom? Okay. I saw the Spencer. Jaqueline, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. Ms. Herrick is your attorney. I don't think I've seen her. So, Mr. Berger, I'm going to ask for you to step in.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Spencer, Arlington PD brought you in. There's, let's see, there's residents, you were found, you had a warrant, and you had some weed in your pocket. According to the warrant, there was a shooting. Police got there, found the victim in the parking lot. He had a gunshot wound in his leg that perforated the artery. And so victim said he was extremely intoxicated. Witnesses said that victim and a group of black males began arguing. Victim tried to fight him. And young black male exited the vehicle, approached the victim with an AK style rifle, shot one time into the ground, and then shot the victim in the leg. And so he's identified as Q. Yeah, Mr. Spencer, I know you've been here for a while, all right? And I'm glad you're level and outstanding. Due to the seriousness of this offense and the nature of the offense, I'm not really comfortable leaving you or releasing you, all right? I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the fact that you're actually helping your attorney as much as you can by keeping your behavior level one outstanding, okay? So at this point, I'm going to continue to detain you. That's really because of the seriousness of the nature of the offense, the likelihood of you being a danger to yourself or the public. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Christy, it's good to see you again.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Jakari Whip. Jakari, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Whenever kids brought here, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And Ms. Smith is your attorney. So
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. See, on Saturday you were brought in. Police were notified by real time of a stolen vehicle, activated their lights, tried to stop the vehicle. The vehicle went on chase, hit the center median, and the vehicle continued into oncoming traffic and almost collided with a street pole before stopping in a parking lot. Driver exited the vehicle and took off running, hid in some bushes. And you've been here before for assault, bodily injury, criminal trespass, terroristic threat. Now you're positive for marijuana. Do we have a parent here?
Yes, mother and grandmother are both.
Okay, so mom, I guess my question is, who does he live with?
He lives with mother and grandmother.
Okay, mother and grandmother. So mom, why was he out at 11:30 at night? Do we know?
I had dropped them off, him and his friend off at the arcade. And that was before 11. And then I ended up getting a call around 3 saying that he was in a stolen vehicle. Because I was waiting on his call to get a call back for me to pick him back up.
So is he on spring break?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, you drop him off at an arcade at 11 o'clock.
No, it wasn't 11, it was before.
What time?
It was around, I think it was like 8:30.
8:30. When was he supposed to call you by?
Dave husband called me around 11.
So now 11 rolls by, no call. 12 rolls by, no call. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. At this point, what are you doing?
I get the call around 3.
Yeah, but weren't you worried that your son wasn't calling back?
Yes, I kept trying to call his phone. No answer, anything. I'm always on him with it. I'm constantly calling his phone.
And he's probably always on his phone, right?
Yes.
So you know he's just ignoring you then.
Basically.
So do you know where he gets his marijuana from?
No, had no idea of him smoking at all.
Do you know whose car he was in when it crashed out?
No, that's what I want to know.
All right, because he wasn't with his friends, he was by himself. All right, Ms. Alonso, let's find out more information. I see your hand is raised, Jakari. I probably wouldn't say anything right now. I don't think you're going to help your situation. Ms. Alonso, let's find out whose car it is. Like if this is your car, it'd be different. Like I want to know, is it just a stolen car or is it somebody that he borrowed the car and just didn't bring it back.
The
don't know
report
what's
says that it was a stolen vehicle. They were notified by Real-Time Crime Center.
Oh, okay.
So it was a stolen vehicle.
It was a stolen vehicle.
Yes.
All right, Mom, there's a whole bunch of unanswered questions here. I'm not really comfortable releasing yet. Sometimes in these cases, I do release right away to the parents, but I don't know I don't know if he stole the car, if he robbed somebody for the car. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if a buddy gave it to him. I don't know this car chase where his friends went. There's a whole bunch of things I don't know. And so I'm just not comfortable releasing yet. I think it would be dangerous to do so. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess he's going to spend his spring break here in juvenile detention. Sorry about that.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deonta Wright. I really want to release somebody. Huh? It's like they're just not.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Wright, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You know how this works. See a judge within 2 days. And if I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Deonta? We have a parent here. And so Saturday, North Hills brought you in. There's dispatch of a disturbance in that you were making threats, standing in the door and refusing to leave. When the police got there, you had already left, talked to the victim. Victim's hand was bleeding, said that he had cut his hand with his pocket knife. The victim and his father hired Deonta to do some work with him as a painter, but during the first day realized you were 16, said you cannot work because you're only 16. Then the victim came home and realized that someone had burglarized the home and stole his gaming system. Contacted your mom, asked if she had seen the gaming system. Mom said that the gaming system was in her home and returned it to the victim. Filed a report. Victim returned home from work, parked his vehicle inside the neighbor's parking spot. Neighbor asked him to move his vehicle. During the time, Deonta confronted the victim, demanding $50 he owed for working for him. Victim returned to his apartment with his daughter. Deonta followed, stood in the doorway, demanded money. I'm going to F him up, going to kill him and spray him. Victim tried to shut the door, but Deonta took a step inside, preventing the door. Victim had a pocket knife and stabbed Deonta, at which point he left. He said that Deonta lunged at him in fear for his life, stabbed him in the leg, and Devonta's aunt called the police to report he'd been stabbed. Taken to the hospital and treated, detained, and brought here.
It is. He just sent me a message.
I don't even know. Are you aunt? Your mom. Does he live with you or with somebody else?
No, he lives with me.
Okay. So first question is, why is a 16-year-old out there working with painters?
I mean, he was my neighbor, and he said I didn't know that he couldn't work because he was 16. The neighbor just was like, it probably would be a good idea for Deonta because Deonta is kicked out of school, and he worked one day, and I didn't know that he couldn't work, and I knew he was kicked out of school. But when he came home and told me that Deonta couldn't work because he was a minor, because one of Deonta's teachers seen him, and that he could no longer work with him no more. And like I said, I didn't know it was just, I thought it was just a painting job, something for him to do to try to stay out of trouble. Because Deonta had just got out of Millwood due to threatening me and his little sister now. I'm facing eviction right now because of Deonta. He broke in my room, stole merchandise from me, got me in a CPS case because I work at night, and he was supposed to be watching his sisters and brothers, and I have cameras in my house, and he left out at one Sunday night, and he soon to supposedly got robbed in my apartments, and my kids was left there. So my niece and my mom seen him on Instagram and called me and told me to make it home. I work in Weatherford and I stay in North Risley Hill. So the first thing I decided I needed to do was get the police there first.
So Mom, I'm gonna interrupt you. So is he on medication now?
Yes, he is. He been on medication since he was 7. It just changed as he got older. I put him in
When
meals.
was the last time you saw a doctor?
It was just a week ago. I put him in Millwood.
Did they change his medication?
Yeah, no, the medication stayed the same. They just put him on Depakote for nighttime. But he's on 54
So
milligrams.
this whole thing with the painting, that's your actual neighbor.
Yes, my neighbor for 9 months. And we never had no problems or none of that. Deontay and him had started talking, and he called me out there. He introduced me to the neighbor because we never had no problem up until this day. And Deontay just—
You're worried about like Deontay, like he's never been here before.
Yeah.
So what, were you there when this all happened?
No, sir, I wasn't. He was supposed to be at his auntie house. I had took the kids to Traylor's Village because I worked.
No, that's right. I know you want to give me all this background stuff, but as a judge, I'm really focused on certain things. That the stuff that you want to tell me will be useful later.
Okay.
So are we talking neighbor, like next door neighbor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So where are you in this eviction process?
You say what?
You said you're getting evicted?
Yes, because Deontay had did several things in my
So
apartment
when are you supposed to move out by?
by the 31st of this month.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna detain him for now. If you move before then, I'm okay putting him electronic monitor, but I'm considering what's happened between the burglary and the stabbing, I'm not really comfortable releasing him to go right next door to the victim. So if you move, I'll reassess this. Deontay, you gotta understand, you gotta be level 1 outstanding. If you're not level 1 outstanding, I'm really not gonna want to release you, all right? So do your part to get out of here. I'm open to the idea of releasing a monitor, but it's not gonna be while you live next door to the alleged victim, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, thank you. At this point, these proceedings have been broadcast on YouTube to give the public meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom. However, when a child is under 14 years old, the law states that the courtroom should be closed to the public unless the court finds it is the best interest of the child or the public to open these proceedings. Unable to make such a finding, I'm going to now discontinue the YouTube broadcast. Please wait 30 seconds for a tape delay. I'm Chinese. I know I'm not.